Hello, all. Happy June 1st. I wanted to share with everyone today a speech that I'm going to share the YouTube link to, dating back to March 15th of 1965, and I'm going to, share some of why that was so important. Two little quick things I want to mention. Just so most of you saw Dana's email, all payables for this year, including mileage, will be due by June 19th, so we can get this financial year finished off. Got a lot of questions about when the next phase will be in terms of library services. That's slated to be discussed next Monday in the customer service CMT, in terms of what that looks like, when it would roll out, all those kinds of things. Expect more information to follow. So I mentioned this little YouTube clip I'm going to share. It's about 48 minutes long. I'm not expecting you to watch the whole thing. I'm going to tell you about a 5-minute clip in the middle that I think really does kind of resonate. But with everything going on around the world right now, this has been repeating through my head all throughout this past week. So a little background to this. This is March 15th, 1965. It was a special joint session of Congress, 9 o'clock at night. This was immediately prior to the Civil Rights Voting Act being passed, and it resonates with me because this is a week after Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. I'm going to read some of the quotes and let you know just how much we worked to fulfill the mission of what was being talked about in 1965. This idea, LBJ's mission for equal opportunity, advancement, equity across all the great citizens of this great country. The first quote I'd like to read is pretty early in the speech, and it goes like this. This was the first nation in the history of the world to be founded with a purpose. The great phrases of that purpose still sound in every American heart. North and South, all men are created equal. Government by consent of the governed. And give me liberty or give me death. Well, those are not just clever words, or those are not just empty theories. In their name, Americans have fought and died for 2 centuries, and tonight around the world they stand there as guardians of our liberty, risking their lives. Those words are a promise to every citizen that he shall share in the dignity of man. This dignity cannot be found in a man's possessions. It cannot be found in his power or in his position. It really rests on his right to be treated as a man equal in opportunity to all others. It says that he shall share in freedom. He shall choose his leaders, educate his children, and provide for his family according to his ability and his merits as a human being. To apply any other test, to deny a man his hopes because of his color or race, his religion, or the place of his birth is not only to do injustice, it is to deny America and to dishonor the dead who gave their lives for American freedom. One of the latter parts of the speech that he gives, and for those of you that don't know, LBJ was a school teacher early on in his career. This quote is, like I said, is the latter part. My first job after college was as a teacher in Cotulla, Texas, in a small Mexican-American school. Few of them could speak English, and I couldn't speak much Spanish. My students were poor, and they often came to class without breakfast, hungry. They knew even in their youth the pain of prejudice. They never seemed to know why people disliked them, but they knew it was so because I saw it in their eyes. I often walked home late in the afternoon after the classes were finished, wishing there was more that I could do. But I knew all I could do was to teach them the little that I knew, hoping that it might help them against the hardships that lay ahead. Somehow you never forget what poverty and hatred can do when you see its scars on the hopeful face of a young child. I never thought then in 1928 that I would be standing here in 1965. It never occurred to me in my fondest dreams that I might have the chance to help the sons and daughters of those students and to help people like them all over this country. This last section that I'm going to share is from the part that I'm going to ask you all to watch. So if you tune into the speech, you go to 24 minutes in and 30 seconds. So 24:30, and watch to about 29 minutes and 30 seconds. He really hits home on some hard things. And this last little quote really sums it up as we talk about what we are doing and why we do it. So I say to all of you here and to all in the nation tonight that those who appeal to you to hold on to the past do so at the cost of denying you your future. This great, rich, restless country can offer opportunity and education and hope to all, black and white, north and south, sharecropper and city dweller. These are the enemies: poverty, ignorance, disease. They are the enemies and not our fellow man, not our neighbor. And these enemies too, poverty, disease, and ignorance, we shall overcome. That last phrase resonates with me. And these enemies too, poverty, disease, and ignorance, we shall overcome. Again, this is the part I would love for all of you to watch and think through what this means and how it affects us. The same message resonates today like it did in 1965, and as librarians, we aim to satisfy this goal. We fight poverty every day by providing access to services, scheduled librarians, workforce development, access to career online high school, access to online tutoring, financial literacy, citizenship, the list goes on. Ignorance is something we battle every day in the way that we work to educate everyone with whom we come in contact with, whether that's providing early literacy, senior outreach, and senior services. We fight fake news. We provide access to resources digitally for those who cannot make it into our buildings. Regarding disease, we've endeavored upon this as well, with health literacy grants under which we have fought to provide smarter eating habits. We support smoking cessation. We get people active with fitness classes. We provide opportunities for mental health wellness. When everything was closed due to COVID-19, PLS continued to provide content and access to resources to help bridge this gap of opportunity. If you've ever wondered about your impact upon our community, remember everything I've just mentioned and how what we are doing is at the crux of making our country an even greater place for all those that live here. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication to the cause. And thank you for believing in the right to equal opportunity for everyone. We shall overcome.